Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Sorry I didn't get a video out in the middle of the week. I'm trying to do that now, but things beyond my control just happened. So today, what it was like thieving with Roy. How did he act? This video is going to be about his personality, what he was really like to interact with. Um, and he acted differently with everybody else except for Joey Bikini, you know. And a couple of times that he got stupid, he got slapped around like the true bitch that he was. So what it was like leaving, let's see what kind of things that I did with him. Of course, we did hijackings. Mainly, I helped them unload the trailer full of stolen goods. And there's a lot of videos about that. Not a lot. I think there's like 3 of them in the if you look back that I did with the Gillette, the razor blades. That was the big score. And then the Fetters air conditioners. That was unbelievable. It wasn't Fetters air conditioners. They hijacked Fetters air conditioning filters, which was worth nothing, the whole friggin' box of that. Anyway, so what it was like, was he cool? Was he sophisticated when we would steal? So although I stole a lot of cars, and that was my primary duty as far as thieving for Joey Bikini, I was a car thief, and that's what I did. I stole cars. So then there came a point in time, and that's exactly what Chris was. Roy DeMeo sidekick. Wherever Roy went back in 1973, that kid followed him like a shadow. Joey didn't like him. Joey didn't want him around because he thought he was a junkie because he smelt of marijuana all the time. He was a pothead. So anyway, there were times when I wound up working for Roy because Chris would always speak highly of me. Roy hated me because Roy got slapped around by Joey Bikini. Joey kicked him in the ass, threw him out. He ran. He ran out of the shop over in Jamaica. And I was the catalyst for him getting punked out. And he hated me, even though I didn't say a word. That video is also, you guys can go back there. I don't want to get sidetracked. And that happens to me all the time with these stories because so many of them are linked. They branch out, and then I'm all the way over here when I wanted to be all the way over here. I don't want to do that. So anyway, every video, as I'm telling these stories about Roy DeMeo and how he really was, what he sounded like, was he cool? Was he not so much? Not so much. Okay, so there came a point in time when Roy, because of Chris, decided to use me for stealing cars and taking them to Elizabeth, New Jersey. That's what we were doing. We were dropping them off at a Sunoco gas station in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And I think he was sending them out of the country. Now that I think back, because it was a stone's throw away from Newark Airport and where you ship containers out. So maybe that's what he was doing. I don't know. And so anyway, there came a time when me and Chris were stealing cars in the city, and I'd have to deal with him. And I think he really wanted to kill me just for sport. He didn't like me. He wanted to get rid of me because he didn't like the fact that I was walking around with a story like he got slapped, kicked, ran out of the store. It was bad. And now I'm not trying to say that he was afraid of Joey. They were both about the same size, but Joey had shoulders, and Roy had a pot belly. And this is what Roy looked like at the time I worked with him. And not to get off the subject, but you see that get up right there? That's what he wore. White, one of those button down. He would always say, this cost $125, which was a lot of money back then. And that's what this guy would wear. And where is he standing? At the rear of a black Lincoln town car. A lot of people, oh yeah, okay. So a lot of the viewers said that this photograph is obviously a surveillance photograph and that it was taken, according to our viewers, and who would know better than them, in 1979, that photograph was taken. But boy, talk about deja vu. The second night, and I'm getting off, there I go off another story, but I have to do it. The second, 2 days after I dropped that Lincoln off, maybe not that one, but I dropped the Lincoln off into the river. They asked me to do another one. It was a Ford. And he wound up doing that, wearing that getup in a muddy, that area where I pushed the car off the docks. It was filled with mud. He slipped, he fell, he was covered in mud. And he was always like with his nails always clean and wearing those white dress shirts. So anyway, I digress. See, this is what I mean. They're talking about this. Okay, so what it was like. So what it was like stealing with him and actually doing crimes with him. And then the only time I can actually say, even when I was stealing cars from him, he paid me. We dropped the cars off at Elizabeth, come back to Queens, and he would pay me. He paid right away. He didn't fuck around. He paid right away. And but actually doing the crimes was when we were in the trailer and the clock was ticking. And even Joey, they were exposed. Whenever someone's exposed, committing a crime, that means if the cops show up, everybody's going to jail. There's no manifest. Why are we, where we were was back in 1974, the area in South Jamaica was just old. Well, there was closed factories. It was a shithole. It was a shithole down there. Nobody was passing by that place. So, but actually, when he was exposed to being arrested with all of us as we were unloading the hijacked trucks, and one of them had blood in the cabin, in the tractor, full of fucking blood. God knows what he did there. He was nervous. He had high energy. He was nervous. He wanted everything to be done faster than humanly possible. Don't forget, those trailers are like 52 feet long and they're high. And it's in the summertime, it was hot, burning up. And he would have these, they used to call them guinea tees. Now, I'm sure the Italians would get pissed off at me for saying that, but that's what we used to call them. It was a T-shirt without any sleeves, and he would wear that, and he would be soaked. He would be nervous. Where Joey was calm, cool, let's get it done, let's get it out. And if I wasn't working, again, he hated me. If I wasn't pulling the shit out, and don't forget, we didn't have no hand trucks. A lot of the merchandise on them were on these pallets, these wooden pallets, that how the professional people would get them off. They'd have some kind of a hydraulic thing that they pumped it up and they had wheels on it and you could pull it out. So we didn't have that. So he was a very nervous, sweaty, piggly type of a guy. And he struck me as being very nervous, maybe not nervous, but anxious to, and he would bark orders. Now, when he's at Joey's shop, warehouse, whatever you want to call it, body shop, garage, whatever you want to call it, Joey's the boss. Joey was the boss. Even, and back then, don't forget, I didn't know that Joey was a main member of the Casey crime family. I didn't know any of this. Just thought he was a thief like everybody else in my life at that time. Everybody was a thieving thieves. We used to call it, we're going out thieving. Thieving, that's what we used to call it. And so Roy also could be very charismatic when, like, for example, if he came to the shop and Joey wasn't there, he did have a presence of authority, and just by the way he carried himself. But when Joey would show up, then he acted differently. He hated Joey, I believe, after he slapped him around. And then, of course, we all know that Roy, the twins, and Broglio, I think his name is, would murder Joey in May of 1976 at his used car dealership over on Roosevelt Avenue. Very hard for me to talk about that, what he did to him. So, yeah, he was a very charismatic guy. He was also a bully. I tell a story about him being in a diner, the airport diner in Queens, and how he berated this guy that had a black girlfriend, this white guy that had a black girlfriend. And then if that wasn't bad enough, when the parents showed up, he was just like a really piece of shit who thought who he was. But at that time, now everybody's got to remember, at this time that I was thieving with him, he was a nobody. He did his first murder in that restaurant in Northern Boulevard. He killed some guy in a parking lot of a restaurant. That was in, I think, July 73. I met him in November of 73. And I worked the whole year with him. And he wanted to kill me. I just thought he wanted to beat me. He wanted to get me in that fucking trunk is what he wanted to get me in. He wanted to get me to the back of it, just like the over here. I don't know what happened to this guy. Hey, I can imagine Roy going, hey, no, look for this. I dropped a $20 bill. Look in there a little deeper. Bend over and then just close the trunk. Did this guy get whacked? I guess not, because the FBI was filming the whole thing. But that's exactly what he wanted to do to me. Let me try to get this on a friggin' light though. So look in that trunk. What? I don't see anything. It's a pretty big trunk. Look in there and then pop him. Imagine if the guy like bent over a little bit more. He put one in the back of his head. All you had to do is push him in the trunk and call up Dopey Kevin and have me throw the fucking thing in the river. That's what he was. That's what and you know, I'm from the Bronx. I'm not falling for no fucking Okie they'll go to the back of under the 59 under the FDR. But that's it. That's how he was. He you know, and I'm sure he evolved into something different when he got into the Gemini Lounge. But for the most part, he was just. He wasn't you know, everybody that used to come, that were all mafia guys, I'm thinking back then. Everybody that came and saw Joey Bikini would always hug and kiss him, except him. Except him. Why Joey Bikini thought it was a good idea to get involved with that guy in 73. I don't know if he was involved with him. He must have been involved with him earlier than that. But why would he get involved? That was Joey's fatal mistake, getting involved with him, because it eventually cost him his life. So Roy DeMeo was a piece of shit. And boy, would I like to talk to the twins, because I know they whacked him. I understand. And I'm going to do another video about the twins because I'm getting a lot of heat. They're not a rat. They did their time. Well, listen, you don't go to federal prison for 10 murders and make it on your first go around. We call that, what do we used to call it? The first time up at bat means when you're in prison, the first time you become eligible for parole and your sentence says 30 or 20, whatever it is, to life, and you never make your parole, even on like one homicide. Maybe one homicide you do it if you were an exceptional, but these guys got convicted of 10 murders, 10, not one, 10, and they went up to bat the first time to their parole board and was granted parole. So my theory, my opinion to all you twin lovers out there, and I'm going to do another video. I'm going to go into this because I got a lot of things. Hey, they weren't rats. Well, I don't consider them rats. If they cooperated with the police or the FBI in both and sent them upstate New York looking for dead bodies, and then 2 months later they get paroled, there's something not right there. You don't make parole with 10 murders the first time up at bat. It just never happened, you know. And all you guys, I never was in federal prison, but all you guys that were, please leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. I just thought that was just too coincident incidents. And the bodies that they were looking for, I think they were from the Gambino crime family, whatever crime family the twins were involved with, was that crime family. The government told the media, that's what we're looking for from the 80s. We're looking for dead bodies from the 80s. Come on. I mean, I'm not calling the guys, or if you cooperate with the police to get out of jail when you have a life sentence hanging over your head, does that count as being a rat? Fuck no. All the people that probably whacked those people that were buried up there are all dead now. The twins are my age. In fact, I think I'm like 2 years older than they. I'm 70. I think they're 68 or 67 or something like that. So, I mean, I'm not calling them a rat. I'm calling them, that's a smart move. Again, first time up at bat at a parole board, and you got 10 murders, you don't think the victims' families are going to be there saying, hey, I don't want that. They have the right to do that. They have the right to be there. And so does the DA that put him away, or the U.S. attorney. They have a right to send a letter saying, I don't want this guy out. And all of a sudden they get out. So, see, now I wound up with the twins. So I'm going to do another video about the twins. But anyway, anybody has any questions of what Roy was truly like, leave them in the comments section. And if I think it's interesting, because a lot of my ideas come from viewers like you. Again, please like and subscribe. I think we're only like 70 subscribers to the 5,000. I'm trying to get over the 5,000 hump, just so I can say I got 5,000. Not that we don't make any money off this. And another thing, we don't make no money off of this. I just do it to get my story out, so that a movie or television show is going to be made. Funny I should mention that, Kevin. So yesterday I sent an email. I'm not even going to say that, but there is a movie thing in the, I don't know if it's in the making or it's there, but I'm not liking it. And I'm only going to put pen to paper on a movie deal that I'm going to have fun with. Okay. So please like, subscribe, anything else. What else did I want? Every time I end my videos, I go, oh man, I should have said that. But I guess that's what comes. Oh, okay. So another thing I want to say is about my friend right over here. 2024 is the most important, and I never want to get political, but I have to because I have a kid. And my beautiful daughter is going to be thrust in this world. Please, please pray for Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, and get out there and vote. All you Republicans out there, don't take Sleepy Joe for granted that Trump is going to have a landslide win. I know he's going to win, but don't take it for granted. Get out there, vote for our man, Donald J. Trump. He's the only one that can save this country. Because if we get 4 more years of that asshole, I think our country, we're going to wind up in a war, is what we're going to wind up. He's going to get us into war. Russia's in bed with North Korea. Russia's in bed with China. Russia's in bed. I mean, Russia's parking a submarine in their nuclear submarine with nuclear weapon capability in Cuba. Back in 1962, when they tried that shit, Bay of Pigs, we almost had a friggin' World War III. We threw them out. It's okay for Joe. Cuba's 90 miles off the coast of Florida. And those assholes are there with their nuclear and on friggin' TV showing us Joe Biden's a piece of shit. He doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know who's really running this country. Obama, probably. But hey, if you people have families and like me, I could give a shit about politics. And then let's talk about what they did to Donald Trump using lawfare against him, what they did. And he stands up like the true American hero that he is. He's the greatest president that ever lived. And let me take a title away from our president, our first president, George Washington, the father of our country. Sorry, George, no more. It's Donald Trump. Not to take nothing away from George Washington, but you just got, it's Donald Trump. God bless you, Donald Trump. We love you. We pray for you. And all us Republicans got to stick together and get out there and vote. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted that he's going to win, and I'm too busy to go vote. See you guys on the next one.